Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I have just finished doing the baling. Actually, I'll tell you what, I could actually unload the last bale from the baler. There's a little few bits of straw in the corners, I'm not going to worry about those. We're just going to hurry up and get this bit done. So, what is it? Is it U? It's Y to unload. Let's press Y. Right, let's unload that one, fold the baler up. I'll put this baler up in the shed at the top because I want to get that trailer anyway. We've got a couple things that we want to get done. We want to, well, before we go into that, my weekly question, at the moment we're on 253 sheep. I want to know if you would like me to continue buying sheep until we reach the original target that we set out of 500 sheep, or would you rather I introduced a little bit of variation and started buying some cows? We don't even need to buy any more sheep really, we could just sort of leave them accumulating in number now, although we may buy a few more to sort of boost it along a bit, but I think that if we start buying cows, it's certainly going to give us a bit more variation in this rather than just sticking with the sheep. However, you may want me to stick with the sheep. You may decide that doing just the sheep is the better way forward because, one, that's what we said that we would do originally, and two, you might just prefer the sheep because we did do a few cows in Goldcrest. We haven't done a huge amount. We're going to be doing cows again in Gorali, so I'm not really sure which way you want to take this. But yeah, do you want me to start buying some cows or just stick with sheep? It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. Now, I'm going to take this trailer here and I am going to go whizzing up to the PGA where we left our other trailer. And I'm going to collect that one and we are going to run a run tandem trailers up to the fields up the top where we've got the beans planted. The beans are ready to harvest. I'm not going to worry about picking up the bales now. We'll do that another time. We also want to cut down the 3 trees in the middle of this field in front of us so that we can plough up those drainage ditches and see if that makes it any easier for working the field. So we will try and work that field once more with the drainage ditches filled in. I've got no idea how that is going to turn out. I think it's going to be all right for the most part. I think there's a few bits it's going to be difficult for the machinery to sort of get around it, but I think generally speaking it's going to be okay. But we're going to chop down the 3 trees and we're going to turn them into wood chips. We will transport the wood chips up to field 25 where we installed the ramps over the gateway yesterday because unfortunately there is collision across that gateway, which is a bit unfortunate because field 25 is the steepest field in the map, and I wanted to use field 25. I wanted to do some work in there because it's the steepest field. I thought it would be quite interesting to mow it and bale it up, because we, you know, just doing the little things like having to move the bales down to the bottom of the field before unloading them and things like that, because otherwise they'll roll right down and smash a fence. I mean, obviously they don't smash a fence in this game, but you kind of get the idea. Now, I don't think I can actually hitch that trailer on to here, which is a little unfortunate. I wanted this big tray. It doesn't look like it's going to accept it. So maybe we can get this trailer to go on the back of the other one. If not, we will return the Fortuna trailer and we'll get another one of these aggro liners. I will probably get a turntable one, and I think we'll just lease it maybe, because this one does have a rear hitch on it. I thought that was a rear hitch on the Fortuna one, but maybe it's just for decoration rather than an actual use. It's back up here. I know it's not ideal having the bigger trailer on the back. You do generally want to have the biggest trailer nearer the machine, and that's not going to let me hitch on either, so that's a no-go for that one. So we'll return the Fortuna. I'll meet you at the dealership. We can get another trailer, and we'll also get our combine that we're going to be using today. Yeah, we'll not sure which tipper we'll use. I'll meet you up at the dealership anyway. I have filled up with fuel as well, as we were nearly out. I'll just drive around that person there. I decided to get one of these Metal Tech trailers. I've got them on it's one of the mods of the Modhub. I think it's a pack, actually. A pack of Metal Tech trailers. You get several different ones that you can choose from. And this is a 21,000 litre trailer, the same as the aggro liner. It's just a bit longer and a little bit lower down. I thought it would be pretty cool to use that one instead of the standard one. There, yeah, see? Looks pretty much the same, but anyway, yeah. So that's the one that we've gone for. And that is this here. You got this pack here. So you got 14,000, a 21 as a bale one, and there's a pallet trailer as well. So yeah, those are the trailers that we're using. Now, we're going to get a combine. I said that I would get a combine. I have found a combine pack, which I think is really cool, which is these Claas Lexions. It's the Claas Lexion 700 pack. There'll be a link in the description. It's from Modhub, and this is version 1.4 or something like that. I can't really remember. But anyway, you have got small, middle, big, and very big. And this is 10,000 litre tank in 500 horsepower, 11,000 with 500, 12,800, 626 horsepower, and this one here is also 626, so 13,500 litre tank. The CR1090 is 14,500, so that's slightly bigger than the biggest of the Lexions. Not a lot in it though. I was going to go for the middle one, not the very smallest, although actually I suppose really we should just go for the small one because it's still a Claas Lexion 700, which is a bit of a beast. So if we go for the smallest one, attachers, we've got optional headlamp cabin, or standard. We go for standard. Front loader, attacher, chaff spreader, radial distributors. What's a radial distributor? I'm going to get a radial distributor because I've got no idea what that means. The 740. I see. So you got a 400 horsepower engine or a 435. I'm not going to increase that one. We don't want that to go up. Initial leasing cost is 28,760. Standard. You've got wide wheels, you've got tracks, Terra track, yeah. So I really wanted to do it with tracks because I thought tracks would look really cool, but that's an extra 15 grand. That's going to take it up quite a slice. If we go with, is that, no, that's wheels. The Terra track there. That's another $2,000. No, I'm not going to do that. We'll go for standard. Now the pipe, you can choose which pipe you use. Basically it's an extension on the pipe. So you got XXL, XL, pipe large. I think really you just that one there, 4XL is the longest pipe. I'm going to go for that one because design. I'm not going to take a design number either. Now that's $28,880 being leased. I hope it's going to work. There we go. Right, so now we're left with $650. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get a little bit of cash because we don't have enough now to. So I want to borrow a little bit more. I'm going to borrow a straight 50 grand. I know there's quite a slice. We should be able to get some of this back later on. But look at that Lexion. That is looking beautiful. That is a sleek, beautiful machine, that is. One thing, the back attacher. Oh, I hope that I've got a back attacher that actually works. It should do. It should do. It's down the bottom. What we need to do is, with the header... Hang on, let's just get the header. You've got 4 headers to choose from. You've got, well, you've got a corn header back here. That's a 6 meter corn header. Then you've got a 7.5 meter, a 9 meter, a 10.5, and a 12.3 meter. I was just going to go, I'm going to go with a 9 meter header because we were using that one there, which is a 5.5 meter header, and that sort of took a fair while. I think a 10 meter isn't at 9. Ooh, well, maybe we should go for that one. It's not a big difference in price. No, we won't. We'll go for the 9 meter header. I think that's probably better because the fields, they do have a lot of sort of chops and turns and that in them. It might be better off, and it's a smaller engine on the combine. It might struggle with a larger quantity of material going through it. So in order, ooh, laser pilot, 2 times laser pilot. Laser pilot is the thing that goes up on the side. I think long stalk splitter. I don't know what a stalk splitter is. I've no idea what that means. Actually, no, zero idea. No number 10. Attach. No idea what we're supposed to do there. Attach a type. Oh, you got rape knives. The rape knives is a bit to go on the side for doing the oilseed rape. I have talked about them before. So yeah, I'm guessing a stalk splitter is just a standard. The knives along the bottom. I don't think we need anything other than that. So at least that one, $3,000. It's costing us a fair bit, but you've got to remember that we're basically looking at this as contracting costs. We don't own our own combine. I don't want to for this series, I don't think. We're going to have it that we're going to be leasing all the way through. Now, you've got these 4 here. This one here is for the 1230, the 1050, the 900, and the 750. So we want that one there, which is the right size trailer for the one that we're getting. And as we're getting a Claas Lexion, we want Claas Lexion color, which is kind of that one, I think. Rim colour has got to be white. Or maybe slightly off-white. We'll go for that. Lease that one as well. There. And we'll back out. Now then, let's have a look at this combine. There's beautiful sound to it. Oh, that's fantastic. And look, you've got the fan on the top with the rotating arm, which basically helps to keep the sieve clean. Getting a little bit of lag while I'm in the cab trying to turn around. I don't know if that's just a one-off or is that going to be a regular feature. I'm not quite sure. Do we have... press space? Oh, we have got loads of different things that we can do here. What happens? Ah, very nice. Pull that one in and out. See, that one's adjustable. That's the door. Oh, no, it's a window. Sorry, it's a window on that side, of course. Open and closed. I don't know what that one's done. It's a job to know what they're all doing. And then you've got a door over there. I'm not going to worry about those too much now. We'll carry on. Oh, I need to... One thing I'm not that keen on with this map is the fact that where the machinery is dropped, you do have to back through the bushes. And to me, that's kind of... I mean, I don't always worry about the realism, as many of you now know. But sometimes you want things to be reasonably realistic, and it just doesn't work. Right, we'll lift that one up. It's good. The visual on the attachment there looks really good. That is your laser guide, and you could have it on both sides if you wanted to. We haven't, though. Obviously, we've just got it on the one side. Now, we want to get this lined up onto that trailer. This is the long auger. Does that not... Oh, I think you've got to unfold the combine so that the auger will come out. Have you? Alright, let's finish unfolding the combine. It's taking its sweet time. Right, there we go. Now it'll unfold. So that one comes out. You can put quite a wide header onto that combine. And the biggest combine, that takes an even bigger auger on it. That one there is the 4XL. And one thing that I did realise about this, I think, this is what I'm hoping. If you go to the very big one, and it's got a smaller tank on it, but if you go to the wheel setup, pipe XL there, 7XL on the pipe. I don't know how long that pipe is, but I got a feeling that you might be able to use the modded 60-foot, because at the moment the Draper headers that you've got available, they're not the longest ones that are available in the world. They are shorter, but at the same time there is... American Eagles modding, I think it is. They have done a Draper header that is 60 feet long. And that one is apparently a lot more realistic. Well, a lot more realistic. Apparently it's realistic because there is a 90-foot one that's sort of doing the rounds. That is a completely unrealistic mod, and I didn't really want to be using something like that. But I do like the idea of being able to use a 60-foot header. And because the CR1090s, the standard one in the game... Now, is that good? That's alright, that's going to turn, that's going to be just fine. We're going to lead up with the combine and we'll follow up with the track. Should we follow with the tractor or just bring it up later? I'm hoping that this combine can actually fit through the gateways. That's going to be the next thing, is we find out that the combine won't fit through the gateways, because I haven't actually tested it yet so far. So, yeah, watch your space on that one. Follow, and if I put that back to 25, it should be okay like that. Yeah, the CR1090 combine won't take the 60-foot Draper header. You can't unload it. The unloading auger on that New Holland combine is not big enough to go out over, sort of extend out the side of the 60-foot Draper header that's available from American Eagles modding, which is a real shame because it's the biggest combine. Now, the Lexion combine is a slightly smaller tank. That one might fit because the Case combine, the second largest combine is available in the vanilla game, that one, it does actually fit. It will reach around the side of the header so that you can use it with courseplay and all the rest of it that you might want to use. You can actually have the whole thing running properly, which is absolutely great. So I'm hoping that the Lexion combine, the biggest one, if you have the longest auger on it, we'd be able to fit the 60-foot Draper header on it, so we'd have a much wider cut. The only issue then that I would have with being able to use it in the time-lapse, because I'd really like to use that 60-foot Draper header in time-lapse, the only issue that we would have is that we would really struggle with keeping the combines empty, because it's just 13,500. I mean, that is a huge tank. That is a lot of grain. But I kind of struggle with the New Hollands as they are, because by the time you get down and you empty them, they're all full. Whereas if you've got a bigger tank, you might be able to do something different. So the only way that I could sort of see clear of that is if I could just edit the mod myself, just slightly, to adjust the size of the tank. I haven't made my mind up yet whether I would do that or not. I do very occasionally make a small edit to a mod, but it's not something I like to do on a regular basis, because there's a lot of modders out there that really don't like that practice, especially without permissions. I know that I wouldn't be uploading that mod for anybody else to use, so it is a little bit different, but at the same time, I still don't want to like tread on anybody's toes or anything like that. So it's kind of, yeah, do I or don't I? I'm not quite sure. I'm going to sort of wait and see. I'll see how it pans out. I might be able to find a different combine, but I really like the idea of using a Claas Lexion in the Rattlesnake Valley series, because you don't often see Claas in the States. You do, though. You do actually see Claas in the States. And it's because you do see them, even though they're not that frequent, that I would like to be able to use it. Because, as some of you know, I used to actually drive a Claas Lexion combine. That is the combine that I used to drive. I've only ever driven one combine, and that was the one. Now, unfortunately, in order to be able to put this header on, we are going to have to go in and drive right on the crop, which is never ideal. It is unfortunate. It's just one of those things that you've got to do, and sometimes when you're combining, you have absolute... Where am I going? Let's go that way and go back here like this. Right, I'm going to do this bit in cab, because I know someone pointed out when I was doing foraging on Goldcrest Valley that some of the levers and stuff were moving around in the cab. I was just looking to see if that would happen in here, and it's not happening in here, so we're not going to worry about it. Let's just bring that one in, load it up. There we go. And now I'm going to have to bring the tractor in. I'll unhitch the trailers, bring the tractor in, get that header trailer, and I will back it out, and I will see you in just a minute when I'm ready to start combining, because we want to be able to at least do once around the outside of the field. Right, we'll dump the header trailer right there for a minute, and we're going to need it again when we transfer into the next field, because we don't have double gates. We can't leave the header on just to move from this field to the next one, which does mean that we're going to end up having to... I'm facing the wrong way. I'm going to have to turn around. It's not perfect. I'm driving an awful lot on the crop. I shouldn't really be driving on the crop this much. Even for having to put the header and everything on, I've still sort of overdone it a little bit, but never mind. Right, let's unfold the combine again, and it should bring out the bit at the bottom as well. There we go. I think that's like the radial spinner thing that it was talking about, although I'm not really certain of that. And start. Oh! Did you hear that? Oh, that sounded so good! I'm going to do that again. Right. I'm going to give you a chat. I'm going to be completely silent, so you can turn the sound up a little bit if you want to, but this sounded awesome. There. How was that? I thought that was really, really cool. I genuinely loved that. May not be to everybody's taste. Ah, that's what it does. It just kind of like sprays it from side to side as you go around the field. Okay. Now, H. How is it going to cope with registering the field and doing the actual combining? Because now we're going to be using... We don't have chop straw on this map. We're going to use the hired help to do this field, I think. What I was kind of thinking is that we'll get the combining started, and we'll probably do a little bit at the start of tomorrow's episode. And then we want to go and do a little bit of... Right, what are you doing now? You could have taken that corner a little better, I feel. I'll help you out with that one. Yeah, doing the wood chips. We're going to start doing the wood chips tomorrow. So we'll do a little bit more with the combining, and then we will come back up. We'll come back up here at the beginning of tomorrow, and then make sure that everything is running smoothly, maybe take away a little bit of grain. But then we're going to go back down to field 1 and we're going to start cutting those trees down. We're going to need to get a wood chipper there, and so that we can move the wood chips from there up to those ramps by field 25. But what we might do to start with is just make the wood chips into a heap in the middle of the field, because obviously we've got the 2 trailers, but they're both going to be busy up here with the combine. And I want to keep them up here with the combine so that we can make sure we ferry the grain away as fast as possible. Now, when I have been doing crops like this myself, so like this, I didn't do beans, I did peas. I did a lot of peas, but also canola or oilseed rape, depending where you're from in the world. What we would do is you wouldn't have as many people working on the grain cart job as you would when you've got wheat or barley going. Now, in the UK, I know that it's done differently all around the world, but in the UK, generally speaking, what you would do is you have a whole load of tractors and trailers, and they just go from the combine back to the grain store, where you've got a big dryer that dries the grain as it goes in. Very, very rare, if ever, do you harvest grain here in the UK that is dry enough to just be stored as it is. You have to bring the moisture content down lower than what it is when you harvest it. We just don't have the heat in our atmosphere to be able to dry the grain sufficiently, like I see so often in the States and that, and Australia as well. I don't know. I'm guessing New Zealand is kind of more like us, where you've got to dry the grain as you harvest it. So we bring it. I think we harvest at like 15-16% moisture, and then you bring it right down. I genuinely can't remember what moisture content the grain is when it's stored long term. I think you got to get it down to like 8% moisture, so you do have to remove quite a bit of moisture from it. But we don't have like the auger bin in the field, the chaser bin, and then a big truck waiting on the sidelines to take it to a big communal store. It's very rare that farmers will work like that, at least the ones that I've ever been associated with. What you would do is the combine's in the field, tractors are there, and you take it back to your own grain store that you've got, and then you sell it later on in the year. The lorries start coming in and out, and they get it then. So, what we would do for wheat and barley is you have a tractor for every trailer, and you go straight to the field, and you wouldn't have to wait very long before you go and fill your trailer up from the combine running up and down the field, and then you disappear off again to the farm so that you can empty out your trailer. And when you start working on oilseed rape and peas and beans as well, I've seen people doing it with beans, and other sort of crops that don't produce quite as much, crops that have got a lower yield per hectare. What you do there is very often you would leave trailers in the field, and you would have one tractor per 2 trailers. So he would leave a trailer in the field, just parked beside the field, and disappear off with a full one. And while he's disappeared off, every time the combine is full, and this combine is being a little bit ridiculous here, just back up a little bit and we'll start there. Yeah, when the combine is full, he drives over to where the trailer has just been left by the side of the field and fills up there, empties out the grain tank there into the trailer, and then carries on harvesting. And that way you don't need as many people working the grain cart while you're doing it. And I was kind of thinking, so yeah, the whole point of this long-winded explanation is that I was kind of thinking we might try that here. We might try parking a trailer up beside the field and taking one trailer away and going and tipping it out, and then coming back again. We'll kind of keep an eye on it using the glance mod up in the top corner, so we can work on doing the wood chips at the same time as keeping the combine running as well. We can get, which one was this? This was the second combine. We get 11,000 litres in here, so we can do 2 combine loads into each trailer. So we'll have a little bit of time tomorrow when we start doing this. So I'm hoping this is going to work out. It's a method of harvesting I've not tried in Farming Simulator before, because normally it's just a lot easier to take the trailer straight to the combine as you're racing around the field. So far, we've done almost 1 complete round around the outside of the field, and we're only on 3,000 litres of grain. Remember though, we only did 1 coat of fertiliser in here with the when we planted them. We didn't come back and actually do any spraying or spread fertiliser or anything like that on the field. So we don't have the greatest yield compared to what we could have here in this field, because of decisions we made back when we planted it. And I did do that quite deliberately. I didn't want a massive yield on this field because I felt that it would take too long to harvest it, and running up and down. And also, I just didn't want to be spreading fertilizer on these fields. I thought it would take too long. I'd have to do it mostly on my own off camera, and I didn't think you guys wanted to watch it if I was going to do it on camera. So yeah, I just left it and did the fertilizer that we added when we actually did the drilling. Or did we? No, I'd actually, come to think of it, did we even actually... Because we used the Great Plains drill in the end, didn't we? And I got a feeling that we didn't even put fertilizer in. Growth, soil composition, yeah. Okay, after all that, we didn't have any fertilizer at all. There was 0 fertilizer applied to this field. So we've got a 50% yield compared to... Oh no, we do have the bonus 10% for ploughing it, because we did plough it. So we've got that, but we don't have anything else. Now, I'm going to do 3 times around the outside with the combine like this, and then we'll start working the land work. But most of that will be done tomorrow, so we will try to get at least 1 tank full taken off before we finish tomorrow, and then we can start working on those wood chips down the bottom, which means we're going to have to get a wood chipper. Now, I have tried previously, looking for forestry equipment, there we go. I have tried previously using that Heisermat, and you've got to cut the pieces so small to get them into it. It's painful. It really is painful. So, realistically, we would either want the gens that lifts them in itself, or we want the HEM, or we want that one there. That one is the easiest one to throw the logs into. You do it by hand. That one has got the claw grab on it, so you could sort of use the claw grab to aid it, and I've not actually used it. So even though that one's the easiest to use and it's cheaper, I think we're going to go for that one, just for the interesting challenge that it can provide. I don't think there's anything else. I haven't really got much in the way of mods for chippers anyway. So that one's going to be $7,000 to lease, and yes, I do want to lease it. And unfortunately, most of the wood chips that we make, we're not going to be making money from, so it's just going to end up costing us money to do that little bit. But there we go. Sometimes you just have to do that. So here is our Claas Lexion combine working away. It does look pretty cool. I've got to be honest, I am very impressed with this combine. I really do like the look of it, and I'm very pleased that we've gone and gotten it. So anyway, my question for this week is, do you want me to continue just going for sheep, or would you like a little bit more variation and me to start getting cows? Now, originally, when I asked you the question, you all said you want me to go for 500 sheep. I'm aware that people, when faced with new information, can change their minds quite frequently, and that is fine. So that's why I'm giving you the opportunity now to change your mind if you want to. So, do you want to stick with our target, our original target of trying to get to 500 sheep? So do we just stick with the sheep? Because I suspect that we're not going to reach 500 until we've nearly completed this series, so we won't really be able to do cows if we stick with that. Or would you like me to start doing some cows as well on this map, in which case we're going to need to start buying some pretty soon. So I'm hoping that by selling the beans and selling the wheat that we've already got in storage, plus the silage at the BGA, we're going to be in a position where we can have enough money to buy quite a few cows. I'm not sure how many, but we'll play that by ear. We'll see what happens when we get there. So yeah, it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. I'm going to just let this one carry on a little bit longer, and we'll see a little bit more at the beginning of the next episode, and then we will leave this to just carry on while we mosey on down to the bottom, get ourselves a wood chipper and start chopping down a few trees. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come watch as well, that would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, this is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.